So, you want to know 3 reasons to be in the popcorn business? Well, I'm going to tell you. Maybe. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. I know what you're thinking. Tim's just totally gone off the deep end, right? Well, maybe I have. Or, perhaps I went off the deep end a long time ago. Who knows? In any case, I'm going to show you how to make money in the popcorn business in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about a couple of other trading issues. Later on, we'll dip into the archive for today's trading maxim, so don't go away. And remember to click the subscribe button and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our trading goodness. Okay, let's look at some issues. So here's the first issue. Crude closed Friday just a little bit above the triangle right there. And it did it on average volume, or just a little over. Of course, we don't buy above a descending triangle. But I'm not ready to call this a blown pattern yet either. Let's watch it for a few days and see if it drops back into the consolidation and make a decision at that time. I may just be redrawing this downtrend on the triangle. We'll see. In Friday's video, in case you missed it, I mentioned getting into this trade on the S&P 500 E-mini futures just ahead of Thursday's close right here, 29.72. Not much has changed except we've got a little bit of a pop right here. So that's good. We're looking for 30.2150 as our target, and we'll take half off the trade and set the stop on the remainder to break even. Of course, if we get a daily candle close back inside the range right in here, we'll shut this trade down. Okay, you guys ready to talk about popcorn? I admit it, this trade is only a little bit about popcorn. But here's what I learned. There's this old adage that says, find a place to sell popcorn and build a movie theater around it. So I guess we're really going to be talking about movie theaters today. Did you know that a significant portion of the profit of a movie theater is actually in the concession stand? The problem is that the movie distribution companies take a huge portion of the ticket sales from the theater, especially in the first few weeks after a film's premiere. I understand that early on it can be as much as 95% of the ticket sales, although I think the overall average is closer to 70%. So if you do the math, I read that the average ticket price is $9, of which the theater only gets about $2.70. And running a movie theater is an expensive venture. You can only imagine how much they pay for power, for heat and air, labor, so on. So they can either raise the ticket prices to an exorbitant amount, or they can sell secondary items to their captive audience. In other words, popcorn, candy, drinks, etc., at high profit margins. And that's why you can buy popcorn in bulk at Amazon for about 1/5 of what it costs to buy it in a movie theater. With that said, since I don't want to be misleading about my clickbait title, here are the 3 reasons you should be in the popcorn business. Obviously, there's a huge markup. Number 2, it tastes good, and number 3, it's easy to sell. So there you go. Of course, there's a little bit of a downside to it as well. Movie theater is expensive to build, and a movie theater is expensive to operate. So there you go. That's the upsides and the downsides of the popcorn business. But I've got a better plan, and it starts with this chart right here. This is a daily chart of Cinemark Holdings, Inc. Cinemark is a leader in the motion picture exhibition industry. I think that's just a fancy way of saying movie theater business. Anyway, they got 549 theaters and over 6,000 screens in the U.S. and Latin America. That's a bunch of screens. Cinemark, or CNK, is currently winding up into this nice triangle consolidation right here. And ever since this earnings release, the volume has been declining. The volatility has been declining. In fact, I wouldn't just call that declining. I would call that dropping like a rock. This thing is getting really close to the point at which I would expect this to explode. So I think this thing is going to be really nice. So here's the plan. We will buy a daily close above the triangle, or we will sell a daily close below the triangle. To enter a full-size position on the breaking candle, we want to see this volume bar reach up to this average right here. If it doesn't reach the average but does reach at least 75% of the average, then I'll be willing to open a half-size position to reduce risk. To calculate the percentage, take the volume number right here, divide it by the volume average, and you should get 0.75. I'm getting a lot better at drawing with my mouse, aren't I? If you don't get at least 0.75, don't enter the trade. Of course, the stop loss will be 1.5 times the ATR, and the first target will be 1 times the ATR. On the breaking candle, you need to look right over here for the ATR, or average true range, which is simply the average of the lengths of the last 14 candles. Take that number, multiply it by 1.5, and put it that far behind your entry. Measure from the entry, not the triangle, and 1 times that number, of course, will be your target. So if you're going short, you'll want your stop right here and your target here. If you're going long, your target will be up here and your stop will be in here somewhere. If after entering the trade we get a candle that closes back inside the pattern in here somewhere, we will take the loss right then and not wait for it to hit the stop loss. Our intention is that a breakout from these patterns should be explosive and hit our target fairly quickly. If the momentum goes away, we want to shut the trade down without taking a full stop if possible. When the price hits the first target, we'll close half the position for profit and set the stop loss to break even on the remainder. We will then follow stops as price moves in our direction until the market takes us out. Now, typically I do this with 2 positions. The first position has a hard stop loss and a hard take profit at the appropriate prices. In other words, I enter the stop loss and the take profit into the platform. The second position will have a hard stop loss and no take profit directly associated with it. I also only risk about 2% of my account on each trade. No single trade should make or break you. And that's the setup on Cinemark Holdings. Always remember that I'm not trying to tell you what to do. If you've got a great plan that works, please use it. Make sure that you've got rules to cover all the eventualities. You know, what happens if the price does this, what happens if the price does that, so that you know in advance how you're going to handle this trade when unexpected things happen. It's easier to make the decision before you enter the trade than to do it in the heat of the battle. And just remember that trading is a very personal thing. Things that work for me may not work for you. That's okay. You have to understand your personal psychology, and that's the important part of trading, is understanding your own mind. Now, I use my trading maxims to help me follow my rules. A maxim is a general truth, fundamental principle, rule of conduct, or a proverbial saying. These maxims that I give you come from various sources, books, internet, friends, coaches, teachers, whatever. And the purpose of them is to motivate me to discipline in my trading or other areas of my life, like fitness, for instance. I suggest you start your own list of maxims, things that help you stick to your rules in life, in trading, whatever. Feel free to borrow from my list. Today we're going to dig into the archives for our maxim. Tim's trading maxim number 24. A smart person learns from his mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Over the years, I've made all the trading mistakes that could possibly be made. Truly, learn from me. Don't go through all that junk that I went through. I went through years of screwing up. These maxims are meant to be fun, but they're real. Each one addresses a problem that either I or someone I've worked with has had. Most everything I say on these videos is designed to help you learn to trade without making the faux pas that I've made. And that's about the extent of my French, by the way. Please ask questions if you don't understand something. The only stupid question is the unasked questions. Remember our Cinemark trade plan here. We're going to buy a daily close above the triangle or sell a daily close below the triangle. If the volume is not quite average, go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Your stop loss is 1.5 times the ATR. Your first target is 1 times the ATR. And remember to click the link below to the trade management video for more details. And hey, you don't want to miss any of my trading picks. Sign up for my free trading picks email list to be sure that you don't miss any of them. I'll be sending out about 3 or 4 trading picks a week, everything from stocks to futures to cryptos to Forex, and you'll get to see them first. Plus, You'll get first notifications of anything special that's happening. And you know what the best thing is? It's free. I'll put the link below the video. Be sure to come back and visit me at Trading Strategy Guide's YouTube channel every week on Monday and Friday for my analysis videos just like this one, and Wednesday morning for my training videos, which will also include a trade setup in most cases. You know, YouTube forces us to use clickbait titles on our videos. I mean, they don't hold a gun to our heads or anything. But if you want people to notice your video, you've got to put an outrageous title on it. So here's your assignment for this week. I want you guys to comment below with the most outrageous clickbait title you've ever seen on a YouTube video. Do me a favor and keep them clean, okay? We're a family-friendly outfit here, all right? I'd hate to have to delete any of the comments for that reason. And of course, don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. I try to answer questions as quickly as possible. And just a reminder, I'm going to be going out of town at the end of this week. I'll be back in the middle of next week sometime. So someone at Trading Strategy Guides will be filling in for me on a video or two, so that should be fun. Remember to encourage them, okay? Follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I post things there. I'll put my Twitter link below. Tell your friends about us and help us make this the best trading channel on the internet. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up below. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.